Welcome to the world of raw power. No stove, no frying pan, no mouth-watering sizzling at 7 p.m. Instead, you wake up, grab a raw potato, and start chewing. And you'll be chewing for a long time. Imagine spending 6 to 9 hours every day just eating. 9 hours start at 8 a.m. Finish at 5 p.m. An entire workday just to survive. No Netflix, no deadlines, no office drama. Just your jaw working like a hydraulic press. Sounds absurd, yet that's close to the reality for many primates that live on raw plant diets today. Raw food is tougher, chewier, and far harder to digest. Without fire, the body must handle every step of unlocking nutrients on its own. So what if humanity suddenly decided, that's it from now on? We eat everything raw for the sake of nature. What would actually happen? Brace yourself, because the biggest shock wouldn't hit your stomach. It would hit your brain. First, a little chemistry, the non-boring version. When you grill a piece of meat, something magical happens above about 140 degrees Celsius. Proteins and sugars start flirting with each other. The Maillard reaction kicks in, a chain of chemical reactions that produces hundreds of new compounds. That's why grilled meat turns beautifully golden brown and releases an aroma that makes you swallow even when you're already full. Think of Maillard as a chemical DJ, remixing raw ingredients into a more irresistible version. And your brain absolutely loves it. Why? Because evolution wrote a very clear line of code. The smell of cooked food equals safer and more energy-rich nutrition. Heated food usually carries fewer bacteria. Proteins become denatured, meaning their structures unfold and become easier to digest. Starch gelatinizes, a fancy term that basically means your body can access energy faster. If humans switched entirely back to raw food, you wouldn't just lose that tempting aroma. You'd lose the energy bonus that heat helps release. Your body would have to work much harder to squeeze out every calorie. And when the body works harder, someone has to pay the price. Remember, the human brain consumes about 20% of the body's daily energy. For every 5 spoonfuls of rice you eat, one goes straight to fueling your brain. It's a calorie-hungry monster, but in exchange, it lets you compose music, calculate rocket trajectories, and remember your Instagram password. If food becomes harder to digest, the energy you absorb drops. To compensate, you would need to eat more, chew more, spend more time searching for food. Sound familiar? That's the daily loop of wild animals. Most of their time revolves around feeding and digestion. In the raw power world, you might need to eat almost all day just to maintain a brain as large as the one you have now. If energy falls short, the body begins reallocating resources, like a company cutting budgets. It might ask, do we really need such a big R&D department? Brains don't shrink overnight, but across generations. If energy becomes scarce, evolution may favor stronger muscles and larger digestive systems instead of a calorie-hungry brain. In other words, long-term abandonment of cooking could push humanity back toward a life spent chewing all day. But the story isn't just biology. It's social. Think about your evenings. Families gathering around dinner tables, friends meeting at barbecue spots, dates starting with the question, what should we eat? Cooking doesn't just create calories, it creates social spaces. Fire was once the center of prehistoric communities. When night fell, its light allowed people to sit together, tell stories, pass on experience, and develop more complex language. Without fire, darkness became more dangerous. People would likely separate earlier, sleep sooner, conserve energy for the next day's search for food. Without cooking, we wouldn't just lose the smell of a sizzling steak. We might lose the rhythm of modern social life itself. Time for art, science, and entertainment could be slowly eaten away by the endless cycle of chewing and foraging. Can you imagine a society where everyone is too busy eating to invent smartphones? A world where the only deadline is the next meal. And that's the biggest twist of all. Cooking isn't just a kitchen skill. It's an invisible foundation of civilization, a daily chemical feast that feeds a demanding brain. So if someone ever tells you cooking is just a cultural habit and not that important, imagine spending 9 hours a day chewing raw potatoes. No seasoning, no aroma. A mired reaction. Just thinking about it makes your jaw ache. Cooking might be one of the few things that truly separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. Stop cooking, and humanity probably wouldn't disappear overnight. But we might slow down, shrink, become less creative. And honestly, I prefer a world that smells like fresh bread out of the oven rather than one filled with the sound of endless chewing. So next time you hear the sizzle of meat on a hot pan, think of it as the sound of evolution at work. And now I'm curious if our ancestors had never dropped that piece of meat into the fire. Would you be sitting here reading this or still busy, chewing?